actually, so I've just hit the record button. I know when I did this course last spring, it was just starting, I believe. The course just started when the shutdowns all started to happen and things, and everybody was at home. And I know, so this was a pretty relevant topic at that time. I never imagined it would still be relevant at this point, teaching this course in the fall, really. But it is, of course. Hi, Jacqueline. All right. All right, so for everybody that's here right now, does anybody have any questions for me about anything we've done or anything upcoming? Nope, all good? Okay, perfect. I think I have marked or graded all of the journals that have been submitted for up to week 8. So those were all done already. And now I'm just getting the essays handed in. So I'll be working on those hopefully this week and get those done before your final week, so you kind of know where you are. Your journals, the final journals are due at the end of week 12. So after week 12 is finished, that's when you submit that. So right now it's your assignment was due yesterday or today, I think, something like that. I can't remember the exact date, but this week. And then the last thing to submit will be your journals at the end of week 12. Okay. All right. Hello, Lori. Go back to Course Home here. Okay, I'm going to share my screen now. And whoop, God bless. And make that a little bigger for myself. Perfect. Okay, so you can see my screen okay? All good? Perfect. I'm going to go to content then. And week 11. So I've already opened up week 12, and there's really not much in week 12, as you'll see. But I'll open up week 11 here. Oh, and by the way, this is my last live session too. So thank you for everybody who's been able to join me consistently. I really appreciate having people here. It's been a lot of fun meeting you and seeing faces and whatnot, and meeting like this instead of just by doing emails and questions and things. So I really do want to thank everybody who's participated. And for those of you who couldn't make it, for making sure that you did watch the videos to follow along in the course. Okay, so week 11, nearly done. So as I said, this is all about basically anxiety and stress and managing stress. One of the big factors that can interfere a lot with learning, especially when you're doing your learning in a organized educational institution such as college or university or anywhere, or high school or elementary school, is stress and anxiety. And anxiety is a really, really relevant topic, not just because of COVID, which of course, and all of the things that have come along with that in this past year, that's caused people who are often predisposed to anxiety even to have more anxiety and more stress and have to look for coping mechanisms. But even before this, and I've been teaching for about 35 years now, and I have seen such a huge increase in anxiety amongst younger and younger children that it's just terrifying for me, actually, when I see that. Oh, we have somebody joined us there. When I do see that, that's good for stress relief, a pet. We're seeing it in younger and younger kids. We're seeing kids as young as 3, 4, 5 years old that are exhibiting signs of anxiety. And I guess there's a lot of reasons for that. And there's a lot of writing out there and theories about why we're seeing that. Sometimes I think we put a lot of pressure on ourselves, and we end up putting a lot of pressure on our kids too. And we do that can cause, additional anxiety. One of the things that I saw that changed over the years of my teaching, because I used to teach very young kids, is the pressure for kids to read and putting those guidelines in. I mean, I understand we have guidelines for a reason, but not every 5-year-old is necessarily ready to read. And sometimes we have to realize that it's not the end of the world if they don't. I have 2 daughters, and neither one was a fluent reader in grade 1 or grade 2 even. And both are now, have their masters of different fields. So it never, it didn't hurt them not to be an early reader. I do think a lot of the times we do put so much stress on kids and pressure on kids, and so that causes additional issues. And when that happens, learning is not going to happen. Same with adults. And I always say that in my courses, when I'm talking in my courses and I meet people, I'm always saying to everybody at the beginning, I did that in this course, don't put so much stress and pressure on yourself as far as marks and grades, because that it almost makes you sick and paralyzed, and you can't move forward. It's really not worth it. There's so much more to life, I think, than having that kind of pressure on yourself. All right, back to the course now. So you have basically a lot of online reading this week about stress and anxiety. So I'm just going to go through them, and a lot of these relate not just to young children, but adults as well. So the first article is about general anxiety disorder, and it's just a series of facts for you to read through, and make sure you read through the entire article. So as I'm scrolling down, you'll see this has a lot of pop-ups and things, unfortunately, but it's still a pretty good article to read. The next one now is on managing stress, and this is from Dartmouth University, the Academic Skills Center, and I liked it because it does go through different ways of handling stress. So it's okay to learn about stress, but we need to learn how to handle stress as well. Go back. And another review of anxieties and how to deal with them. In this one, it says, in Rachel's story, a teen describes the first feelings of generalized anxiety disorder. And so it says, read through the links in the list to the right. So I'm just going to click on that. Now, hopefully the site hasn't changed too much. So here we go. So you can read through the article. That's for parents. And then I would suggest that you go to, these are the links that you can also read through. There's one for parents, one for kids, and one for teens. And then this tab up here for educators. So really explore this site quite a bit. And you can, there's a lot of information here. So explore the site and not just read the first article. The next one now is, because your final test is going to be coming up. I even don't like using the word exam because that makes people nervous, but the final evaluation is coming up. So I did include a link to how to study and read and make notes on the article entitled Test Anxiety. Browse and bookmark this website for future use. So you don't have to do anything. It's just for your own use. So just making sure that that's there. Yep. It's all working. And then this is a little extra reading on the topic. We'll see if this is still here. It was actually put out last year by the CDC on handling stress caused by coronavirus. So again, coping with stress. And it's, as I said, still relevant in November of 2020. So you can read through that as well. All right, and that's it for the online reading for week 11. Then for tasks, it's just a couple of quizzes to take, kind of like we did back at the beginning there for your learning style, but this is just a couple of quizzes just to make you a little bit more aware of your stress levels in life and how you can handle that. So there's the first one. I'm not asking you to do a response on this one. It's just to kind of get you in tune with yourself. And the next one, go to the link below and take the quiz, post a comment on the results in the discussion session. Make sure, yep, another stress index. And so that one you'll just comment on in discussions. Then finally, there's a response journal item. Click the link above and browse through the document, read through sections that capture your interest. Read the section stress management, and in your journal list 5 of the suggestions on how to relax. Sorry, that's a typo. List 5 of the suggestions on how to relax, and then I want you to list and describe 5 methods that you use for yourself to relax. Okay, that's it for week 11. I don't think there's a problem of the week. Nope, there's not. Okay, so that's it for week 11. And then week 12. So for week 12, I've just posted some notes about the final test then. So the exam will consist of multiple choice questions, fill in the blanks, true and false, and 2 very short essay questions. But I do want you to make sure you take some time with those essay questions. They're each worth 5 marks. Make sure that your paragraph is well structured, that you don't have spelling errors, obviously, and that you address the topic. So a lot of people, when they read the question, I find they go off on another tangent. Read the questions carefully and actually answer the questions, okay? Earlier, a couple of weeks ago, I did kind of hinted that you should maybe make notes and make sure you understood one particular topic. So hopefully if you listen to the lecture properly or listen to me talking or watch this video, you'll remember that. All right, questions may cover lecture materials or the text. Now the exam's open book, obviously. You're going to write it at home during that final week of week 13. You will pick the time. Just make sure you have 2 hours to do it where you're not going to be interrupted, et cetera, and that you're feeling good and healthy and ready to write it, okay? I always suggest not to leave it to the last day because that can cause more stress, I think. Now, it's considered open book because obviously you're at your computer. I'm not watching you. There's no invigorator. So you can go back on notes. You can click through some things. You can look things up, okay? So I don't believe in this day and age that we need to cram our brains full of things to memorize and regurgitate. Sometimes it's more important to know how to find the answers to things, I think, and when you're doing things. So that it's I have put that you will lose 5% for every 15 minutes you are late. So it is timed, but it won't kick you out after 2 hours, but try to stick to the 2 hours. Review your journal entries in preparation for the exam and review any notes you've made for yourself. As I just said, you don't have to memorize because you should be able to know just how to locate information. So for online reading this week, I've said to review the information found at the following sites: test taking tips and taking online exams. So these are just for you to read through. Yep, that's still there. And this is from Cengage, taking it online. Perfect. Okay. Also, some of the final tests will be auto-marked. Don't worry about that mark at all because I have to go through and grade the essay questions and double check the auto mark because it's not always correct, okay? So don't worry about that auto mark. You'll probably end up with like 30% or something, you know, and don't freak out. I have to go through and mark them afterwards, okay? All right, any questions about that then, week 11 or week 12 so far? Straightforward, all good? Okay, awesome. And then finally, your tasks for week 12. I've said to research a video or online resource on either stress or exam preparation and share it with your classmates in the week 12 discussion folder, okay? So I know all along at the beginning of the course, I said I really think that learning is something that's important as a kind of a lifelong thing. We should always be learning and pursuing things that interest us. And the way the world is set up now, that's quite easy to do for most of us. So I wanted to put a little bit of just research for yourself in there, for me not finding a video or anything for you. I want you to go find something and read a little bit and do some research and then share it with your classmates. And then finally, in your response journal, reflect on the course. Use these questions as guidelines only. Feel free to be creative. I really enjoyed reading the week 6 when I asked you to kind of reflect on the first half of the course. And so this is for the whole course in general. And I do take suggestions under advisement. I've changed a few things over the years in my course based on feedback I get from the journals from students. Quite often I get a lot of people say, well, I hate the problems of the week, take them out. I hated the journal at first, but now I love them. Then I'll have people say, I love the problems of the week. They got me talking with my family and I really enjoyed avoid those. And so those ones I know I'll get, back and forth with that. I've had suggestions about having 2 weeks open at a time, which is what I do now. Because of that suggestion and just different things. Or if somebody wants to pursue another topic or thinks I should add something, that's always great too. So these are just guiding questions. You don't have to answer those questions if you don't want to. I just put those in as a guide for some people that need kind of a starter, okay? And then finally, submit your journal for grading when that is complete. So that's at the end of week 12. If you submit it early, obviously that's fine with me. I can't guarantee I'll have it graded early. I have to do all the essays right now. I find this next couple of weeks is kind of busy for me in both courses because I'm grading a lot of things. So please be patient with me in the next couple of weeks to get those essays done. I want them done before I start looking at the final journals. All right, and then after that will be week 13. I'm just going to go to down here. So week 13 begins December 1st. Is that right? December 1st? Yeah, I guess it is. Yeah, that's a Tuesday. So when it opens at midnight, that will be just telling you to do your quiz that week, okay? That's all. And to do the quiz, there will be a link in week 13 with a few instructions. But you will just go here to the tab right here that says quizzes. You will click on that. And sorry, I should change this to view as student. It looks different. So you'll go to quizzes. And this is what you'll see. And it says it will be available on December 1st at 12:01 a.m. So that's just after midnight until December 7th at 11:30 p.m. Please, please, everybody, don't email me on December 8th and say, oh, I didn't know that I had to have it done by the 7th, okay? Please don't do that. It puts me in such a bad position. You have a whole week. I'm telling you here live. Hopefully everybody that's not here watches this video and was listening to me say this, okay? Because I will not open it up on the 8th for anybody who misses it. You've got a whole week and you've had plenty of time to know when that date is, okay? All right, that is it. So guys, for those of you who are here, are there any questions? I told you it would be quick tonight, didn't I? We're only like 20 minutes, so that's great. And again, I have a lot of you here that have managed to make a lot of the live sessions. And like I said, I really did appreciate having you all here. And this has been a great class. Your work's been fabulous and just overall, great interaction I've seen in the question folder as well. Had a lot of people, helping each other out and things, and that's always great to see. When I'm doing the grading, so just so you know, I will be, after you write the week 13 and you write the test, I grade that. I will have everything else graded. The reason I do set my course up with 1 extra week of nothing, which is what I do, it's actually 14 weeks, is so that I can get everything graded and you get your grade before the course actually ends, okay? I did say at the beginning of the course, if you are late with anything that needs to be submitted, sorry, I'm just going back to the course information, which was course outline or course schedule. If you are late handing anything in, the last day of this course is December 15th. That's the actual last day. I will not accept anything after the course end date, full stop. If you don't have everything handed in by the due dates, so that's the end of week 12, that's when your journals are due. And if you haven't handed in your assignment, you might not get your final grade by the end of the course date, okay? I'm just letting you know. If you've handed everything in, you'll get your final grade. So make sure after you finish the exam, don't just go, I'm never logging on to that site again. I'm done. It's Christmas. I'm not going back. Please log back in before December 15th. So, around the 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th, just so you can check if you want to know what your grade is, okay? And that way also, if you have a problem with anything, like you disagree with what your final grade is, I want you to tell me that week so we can address it, okay? I don't want to have it hanging over till afterwards, okay? All right, I'm gonna stop sharing. Will the links, put it up again, Carrie, sorry. Will the links be open for us when course is over? Okay, yeah, that's fine. Very innovative using a sign. There's always a way around things. I saw you kind of holding it up there. So everything, I think on Ontario Learn, I'm not 100% sure, but I think it stays open for maybe another week. But then you are kicked out. I can't guarantee that. I know for sure you can access it till the 15th, okay? But after that, I can't guarantee because I don't know how they do it. Okay. Okay, good. All right, anybody else have a question? Nope. All right, guys, have a great night. And I probably won't see you again, so have a great Christmas. And thank you so much for joining me, okay? Bye, guys.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Good night.
Night.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good night.
Yes.